You read reverse psychology and think of a trick you use on someone else. Say the opposite, make her prove you wrong, push and pull until she invests. The most potent reverse psychology you will ever use is internal. It is the art of turning your own resistance into fuel, of converting distraction into devotion, of installing thoughts of desire in your mind on command. Desire for the life you want, the standards you keep, the presence you bring, the woman who fits, not the noise that flatters. You're not here to manipulate anyone. You're here to become unmanipulable by your own lesser impulses. You're going to learn how to make your nervous system crave what builds you, call it the operating system of want. Once it boots, your actions follow without a fight. Your attention moves like a trained animal, and your presence starts broadcasting a signal that the right woman hears without you raising your voice. Start with the honesty that most men never give themselves. You don't lack desire. You're drowning in it. You desire comfort, novelty, validation, sugar, scrolling, a burst of attention, a hit of erotic fantasy, a shortcut that lets you skip the messy middle. Reverse psychology, when you turn it inward, is the decision to starve the easy desires long enough that your system gets hungry for the hard ones. Discipline, standards, difficult work, being the man who can hold tension without breaking. Addiction is easy, appetite is trained, desire is programmable. The world has been programming yours since childhood with alarms, advertisements, and algorithms. You take the keyboard back by giving your brain a new economy. What gets oxygen grows, what doesn't fades. You do it by designing friction in the wrong places and flow in the right ones until your default choices pull you forward. The phone on your nightstand instructs you to want other people's mornings before you, if you had your own. The open tabs instruct you to want immediate answers instead of deep work. Reverse psychology for the self means you salt these pathways so the impulse that used to sprint down them stumbles. You move the phone across the room so your first desire is to get up, not get hooked. You make the kitchen a place where the choice that fuels you is the one that is easiest to reach. This isn't a hack, it's humility. You accept that your mind believes whatever your environment repeats, so you make your room a sermon, and your morning a ritual, and your calendar a boundary that speaks without your mouth. Right now, your narrator might be the scared boy who learned that attention equals oxygen, so he pursues it all day, even when it costs his sleep. Or the clever boy who learned that impressing people buys safety, so he performs in every room, then wonders why his reflection feels like a stranger. When you catch the old voice saying, "We need a hit of attention," you answer with a frame that sounds like you on your best day. "We need a hit of progress." When it says scroll until the anxiety quiets, the frame says move until the anxiety burns. You are a man who can do hard things while feeling soft emotions. You are building a life where your future self can breathe. Repeat this out loud. The next move is to install curiosity where the old you installed criticism. Your brain loves to argue with you because arguing keeps you stationary. The critic's goal is to preserve comfort through shame. Instead of, "I failed," you ask, "How did the environment beat me?" Maybe you left the phone next to the bed. Maybe you tried to train without sleep. Maybe you wrote a plan you never wanted. Curiosity is not an excuse. It is a scalpel. You use it to cut away illusions. You stop asking, "What's wrong with me?" and start asking, "What is the next lever I can make easier than my old habit?" You don't need a perfect morning routine. You need one lever that can carry tomorrow. If that lever is a 5-minute cold shower because it jolts your mind into focus, install it. If it's a walk outside before screens touch your eyes, install it. If it is your 15 minutes of writing goals by hand because the ink slows your thoughts until they understand themselves, install it. Curiosity makes you a scientist of your own electricity. The modern world bet big that it can distract a man faster than he can learn. Reverse psychology says you bet bigger on what you feed yourself. If you consume chaos, you will want chaos. If you consume cheap outrage, you will want the friction of argument more than the satisfaction of progress. Replace the feed. Read people whose receipts you respect. Talk to mentors whose lives soothe your anxiety by sheer evidence. Design your home screen to be a calm launchpad instead of a casino. A cold glass of water over a dopamine snack. You are telling your mind to want what your future needs. You are not resisting. You are re-aiming. Cialdini wrote about the power of salience and scarcity. Make the salience in your day the materials that shape you. Make the scarce thing your access to your own attention. Never forget that your body is the quickest path to your mind. If you can train hard for 20 minutes before the day's noise finds you, your mind gets the memo. We are a man in motion. Suddenly the desire to work, to clean, to focus, to lead a conversation, to hold eye contact, to be the man you pretend to be on better days, it all gets easier by 20%. That 20% is the gap between quitting early and going long enough to like yourself again. You need a daily contract, something strenuous that you complete without negotiation. Your body will repay you by making your mind crave harder things because it knows it can carry them. This is reverse psychology for the flesh. You teach your muscles to seduce your mind into wanting weight. Most men try to install desire in a woman before they can install it in themselves. The mind will not desire what it does not respect. A calendar with plans that align to a man building something real, a bedtime that says you want tomorrow more than you want this midnight dopamine hit. When you live like that, your mind begins to crave the kind of woman who fits a life, not a life that fits a woman. You no longer need to play hard to get. If you insist on a trick, here's one you can live with. You reframe pain as proof. Reverse psychology says pain is a receipt that you're becoming the man your future needs. This doesn't mean ignore injury or deny exhaustion. It means recognize the sweat on your back as evidence that you are keeping a promise while it's hard. The brain starts to crave that signal, the way a runner craves the ache that means the second wind is near. When you meet resistance, a hard conversation, a weight that fights you, a silence after you text with honesty, you tell your mind a story it can love. This is the exact sensation I wanted. I'm earning what easy can't give me. After enough repetitions, the anticipation of that sensation becomes a desire. You will lace your shoes faster because you know who you are on the other side. You will voice your boundaries sooner because you know the calm that follows. You will end the date at 10 because the man who honors morning feels better in his bones than the boy who squeezes the last drop out of every night. Pain becomes a landmark, not a warning sign. Mystery will serve you here, not with other people, but with yourself. Humans are addicted to discovery. Pascal noted how the mind leans toward what it can't fully hold. Give your own mind a reason to keep leaning toward you. Set challenges that reveal a new layer of you every week. Learn a skill that changes your posture. Cook a dish that replaces takeout. Fix something in your place with your own hands, or learn who to call and watch them work. Stack these micro reveals and your mind begins to tag you as a source of novelty. Not novelty for novelty's sake, the kind that can hold still, but novelty that widens your competence. That competence slowly whispers to your mind, we are safe to want more. You will notice you are less interested in the short high of being noticed and more interested in the long, low hum of being respected by yourself first. That is the craving that converts boys into men. Call it Jung's integration in plain clothes. The parts of you that used to sabotage you aren't gone. They've been introduced to something better and recruited into the mission. An undervalued lever in installing desire is your use of endings. The brain remembers endings more than middles. If you end your day in chaos, your mind learns to dread bedtime. If you end your workouts by bailing on the last set, your mind learns that you flinch. If you end dates by overstaying, your mind learns that you ignore intuition. Reverse psychology switches the meaning. You finish your day with a small win. 10 minutes resetting your space. 1 page of notes that tell tomorrow what to do next. Gratitude that isn't performative, but precise. You finish the workout by finishing, even if you reduce the weight to do it with form. You finish the date on a high instead of squeezing out 5 more awkward minutes to avoid the discomfort of leaving. Endings like these teach your mind to crave closure with dignity, and those cravings echo. You'll begin to want to keep promises because your nervous system now knows the good feeling that waits at the end. That makes standards addictive. That is not an exaggeration. There will be tug-of-war days when the old desires arrive in formal wear. They won't announce themselves as seductions. They'll present as reasonable requests. You worked hard. You deserve a scroll. She's been quiet. You deserve an answer. Skip the gym. You deserve rest. Sometimes those lines are true. Often they're the last costume your sabotage wears before it gets you. Reverse psychology answers like a father you trust. You deserve a future. Earn this ease. You deserve peace, not control. Step away. You deserve recovery, not avoidance. Walk, stretch, sleep on time. Train tomorrow. Train. That voice isn't cruel, it's clean. It doesn't bargain, it leads. If you want your mind to follow, stop negotiating with it like a hostage taker. Treat it like a soldier who wants orders that make sense. The order is simple. We do small brave things now to make big brave things possible later. You repeat it when you re-calm, so your mind can remember it when you re-not. Purpose is the anchor that keeps all this from becoming a productivity cult. Frankl didn't sell a schedule, he offered a spine. Your spine is a story you can say in a sentence. I am building X in the next 90 days because it matters to Y. The because matters more than the X if your because is shallow. So people think I'm successful. Your mind will rebel the first time applause goes quiet if your because is deep. So I can be the kind of man my future family rests inside. Your mind will endure silence, boredom, and doubt without turning on you. Write it down and put it somewhere you can't escape it. Your brain needs to see what it serves. Without purpose, reverse psychology becomes punishment. You will either splinter or turn cold. With purpose, the same rituals become devotion. You will warm up just by thinking about why. Install scarcity with integrity. Scarcity is not withholding love, it's withholding self-betrayal. Your mind begins to desire your attention when you stop donating it to anything that knocks. That means your phone does not own your mornings. It means your dating life does not get your afternoons unless it fits between work and training. Because the man you're becoming demands fuel. It means your friends who drain you don't get the same access as the ones who build you. It means your entertainment window has borders. At first, this will feel like loss. Then your mind will feel the relief of a smaller circle and a tighter schedule, and begin to crave the feeling of having a life that fits in your hands again. That craving is healthy scarcity, being difficult to distract, not difficult to love. Calm is a desire you can train like a muscle. Most men confuse calm with apathy. Apathy is deadness, calm is capacity. You want a shop full of emotions, but a foreman who can delegate. When jealousy flares, the foreman doesn't fire anyone. He says, "You work for me." Get stronger in the gym and clearer in communication. When anxiety spikes, the foreman says, "You don't get the keyboard today, go lift, breathe." When anger storms in, the foreman doesn't smash the room. He opens the door, goes for a run, and returns with language. This is reverse psychology for your feelings. You make them earn participation. You stop asking your emotions for permission to do what your values already decided. The more reps you get in this, the more your mind desires that feeling of being led by you. The woman who meets you in this season feels it too. She will relax into you because your inner leadership makes promises your mouth doesn't have to. That is how internal reverse psychology turns into external magnetism without a word about it. You can install desire faster by turning wins into identity, not into celebration. The average man completes a hard task and buys a treat that undoes the task. You finish a deep work block and you scroll until your dopamine is fried. You finish a week of training and you eat until your progress hides. That pattern trains your mind to associate effort with emptiness. Reverse psychology pairs effort with elevation. After deep work, you step outside and absorb a minute of sky with your shoulders back until your system tags work with a breath. After training, you feed the machine clean and you go to bed knowing your morning will feel better. You connect the immediate discomfort with an immediate clean reward that doesn't steal from tomorrow. Over time, your mind begins to crave the effort because it has been taught that effort equals a good feeling in your nervous system, not a crash covered in jokes about cheat day. This is not Puritanism. You can celebrate. Just make 90% of rewards aligned with outcomes you want more of. That alignment is reverse psychology at scale. Speech is software. The phrases you run most often will shape what your mind desires in hard moments. Pick 3 that fit your bones and tattoo them on your day. Something like, I keep small promises to myself. I end on a high. I don't argue with my standards. Say them when the old desires show up. Your brain is a pattern-matching machine. It will start to reach for the actions that match the slogans that feel familiar. If your familiar slogan is, I'm exhausted, your mind will desire rest that doesn't restore. If your familiar slogan is, I'm behind, your mind will desire distractions that make you feel caught up without building anything. Replace them. I can do this set. I can send this text cleanly. I can walk away and return later stronger. These aren't memes. They are keystrokes you press to reprogram a reflex. One of the strongest reverse psychology moves is to move the goal from results to reps. Your old mind wants visible progress now or it loses interest. Your new mind wants proof that you are the man who shows up. When you shift the desire from, I want her reply, to, I want to be the man who communicates cleanly, you stop bargaining with outcomes and start investing in identity. When you shift from, I want a six-pack by June, to, I want to be a man who trains 5 days a week, the calendar stops bullying you. When you shift from, I want 100K more, to, I want to practice my craft 2 focused hours daily, money becomes a byproduct, not a god. Results will come. Reps never betray you, and your brain will love the feeling of being able to win today without permission from the world. That feeling becomes a desire stronger than any hit the feed can give. Conflict will be a test. You will run into days when the old wants wrestle the new and win. You will blow the morning. You will text out of panic. You will skip the gym and call it recovery when it was avoidance. The worst thing you can install on those days is contempt for yourself. Contempt makes your mind desire numbness. Reverse psychology uses pity's energy for a better aim. I messed up, and I'm the man who returns fast. You stack a micro win before the day ends, a 10-minute reset of your environment, a sincere apology in 1 sentence, a walk instead of a doom scroll, a single set of push-ups, a schedule block set for tomorrow. The brain records the return more than the fall. Become addicted to the feeling of getting back up. Make it your favorite sensation. Remind yourself, the difference between the man who finishes and the man who fades is not who fell less. It's who rehearsed the comeback until it became a reflex. If you want to use reverse psychology with your own attraction, stop telling yourself you shouldn't want beauty, intimacy, or romance. Of course you should. You're human. Instead, recruit those wants to power your best behaviors. Want her so much that you go to bed on time so you're a man she can lean on tomorrow. Want her so much that you get under the bar because a strong back carries love better. Want her so much that you build a career she would be proud to say out loud. Want her so much that you stop over-explaining and start living decisions. Turn the heat into electricity. That is the only kind of install that sticks, the kind that respects your biology and gives it a job. Here's the paradox you will feel by next month if you live this. Installing thoughts of desire is really installing the conditions under which desire chooses you. Your mind will start to want clean food because clean food felt like a better afternoon. It will want solitude because solitude felt like power instead of loneliness. It will want limits because limits let you go deeper. It will want to text less often and with more intention because the silence felt calm instead of panicked. It will want the woman who mirrors your effort instead of the one who makes you chase breathless attention. It will want to leave the date when your intuition says the moment is done, because the next morning you'll remember why you keep your word. The more you taste these new desires, the more the old ones lose their flavor. That's the secret your past self never learned. You don't stop wanting. You upgrade what you want until the old menu looks like candy in a hospital. There is a final lever that turns installation into integration. Teach what you relearning to another man. The fastest way to make your mind crave integrity is to make your mouth promise it to someone you respect. Build a small brotherhood around standards, not slogans. Share your morning windows, show your rooms, report your workouts, admit your slips and demonstrate your returns. When your words pull another man up, your mind gets addicted to being the man whose gravity builds others. That is a craving with teeth. It will drag you out of bed when vanity fails. It will keep you from texting out of panic because you're not just representing yourself anymore. You're representing a standard. You're not installing a trick. You're installing a truth. A truth about what you really want when the noise stops. A truth about who you become when you keep promises in the dark. A truth about how attraction grows in the presence of a man who can lead himself. Reverse psychology was never about saying one thing while wanting another. It was about learning to make the deepest part of you want what the best part of you decided. When you master that, you will feel a peace that used to look like magic when other men had it. You will stop fantasizing about being the exception and start being the man who follows a simple pattern. Awake, move, work, order, connect, rest. So consistently that your nervous system sighs when you hit it and protests when you miss. That protest is desire learning its new home. Walk into tomorrow like this is already true, because the fastest way to make a mind desire a state is to let it experience the state. Lay out your gear, put your phone across the room, put water by the bed, put your book on the pillow, put your calendar where it can't be ignored, put one clean sentence on a card. I am a man who keeps small promises, then keep one before breakfast. When you feel the small dignity rise in your chest, pause and memorize it. That is the feeling you're installing. That is the thought underneath every thought of desire that will carry you for years. I am the kind of man my future can trust. Women feel that, friends feel that, your mirror feels that, and your mind finally begins to want it like food.